I've been at this. This is my sixth company in my career of network marketing, right? And this will be my last, thank God. But with that said, uh, they assembled a team of, I think, I don't know how many were there? 20, 23 of us, maybe. That was it. We were
Something
able
like
to
that.
deliver.
Yeah, yeah. Some people stuck on the other side of the pond. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's about where
And
we.
it was very, very close. It was very, very tight knit. We were actually in the mastermind. We were in basically the last day, put all our chairs together and kind of just, you know, went through some ideas, and there were some, of course, some issues with certain things that have happened with our company, regarding merchant accounts and this and that, and a few people dropping off the subscription because of maybe not having enough money or not being able to get their three for free or whatever that is. But the point is this: um, look at it. We're only 4 months old. 4 months old, and we have done, I think, our first month and a half or so, about $2.5 million or so of business. The company is positioning us right now for something huge now. Even though we've done pretty well to this point, some of us have been able to bring on some people, some big leaders, which in my group, I've got some really huge leaders that have come on, which I'm very grateful for and blessed for. Uh, but we haven't even seen the beginning yet. What we went through in the last 4 months was fine. There was money to be made. There's some people that have done well with their personal trading accounts. And there's a lot of people that kind of got confused and upset or whatever, that's just business. And they've now fallen off the picture here, out of the picture. But I guarantee you, if you guys take what we're going to share tonight, what Ryan and Julian are going to share tonight, and begin to promote this, where Skip was talking about promoting yourself. Well, that's what it's all about. I'm actually starting all over again. Even though I've got a nice base of people right now in my 3 lanes, I'm taking the mindset of I'm going to go to every single person that, for whatever reason, stopped their subscription. I was on the phone for the last hour and a half, identifying with people that have been blowing me off for 2.5 months, now are waking up to the fact that, yeah, I got to do something else. COVID-19's here, and I'm ready to look and see what you have here. But with that said, with the new software programs that are about to hit the market, there's absolutely no reason, no excuse why anybody on this call or anyone in our organizations cannot really elevate themselves by sharing what we have here. With the new onboarding process, which is going to be even easier and easier and quicker, which has been a problem, obviously. And then with our new software programs, and Brian will maybe go into that, but we have the best of the best now. And the company, I was just blown away because they really want to hear the the issues or the challenges that the field has out there, and we were able to kind of bring it all together and knock all this out. And they are listening, and so with Ryan and Julian as our global directors, of course, they're on the forefront there. But everybody here has a say so. According to Sal, everybody here, it doesn't matter if you just got involved yesterday, if you want to talk, if there's something you want to add, if something you want to convey, you can they will hear your voice. That's how good these guys are. They're not in it. There's no egos here. They want to listen to the field. And that's what I kind of got out of it, Ryan, is the fact that we are in the beginning right now. This is just the beginning. We're starting all over again, as far as I'm concerned, with a whole new set of parameters and new software programs that are going to be unbelievable. The new onboarding process, the new things they're doing in the Hispanic market and the Asian market are coming out right around the corner, along, of course, with the European market. But the products they're delivering are unbelievable. They're godsend products we have, folks, backed up by a company that cares, that's listening to the field out there. So very exciting times. I would encourage you. I think tomorrow night I'm doing the training, by the way, for those you can get on it. We're going to talk about organization, follow up and follow through, and some system that I use, and hopefully it'll help most of you. But for those that truly want to build a business, okay, in this environment, I would not wait. I will not sit on my laurels and not begin to pick up the phone and make calls, because 3 months from now, I guarantee you there'll be people in my organization that'll be hitting 1,500, 3,000 because of what we have, what we know what's coming out here in the next few weeks. It'll blow you away, folks. So that's kind of what I wanted to share, Ryan and Jolene. You know,
I love it, Al. Thank you. No, that's great stuff. I love that you have chosen to hit the reset button, right? And not rest on the laurels of what you've already accomplished. And your accomplishments have been much. That's why you were one of the very, very, very few invitees from all over the world, because your accomplishments have been much. You have basically put other businesses aside. You have literally put your chips all in, and that did not go unnoticed by the executive team. And we're honored, Al, to have you not only as one of our best friends, but as one of the incredible servant leaders in this community among many. And you know, I love what Skip said at the start of the weekend as well. He said, look, this will not ever happen again where I won't be included in that. And I love the stance from which Skip made that statement. And I hope all of you would embrace the attitude that Skip chose to embrace, because Skip knows he's capable of also being somebody who's moving the needle in a dramatic way, and enhancing the lives of a lot of people by getting them introduced to Avoria Prime. And so all of you could make the same decision Skip did, that next time there is a leadership mastermind, you will also be here. And so I want to share that, you guys, because like Al said, the executive team wants to hear from you. They want to get to know you. They want to partner with those who are going to really make this your legacy vehicle. And that's the first thing that I want to share. And then, babe, if you got something you want to add, but here's the first thing I'll tell you, that I'm encouraged by so many things from the weekend. But the first one is this. I want you guys to all know the vision is steadfast. Write that down if you're taking notes. The vision is steadfast. What do I mean by that? Well, I've been around the business world long enough and in the network marketing space long enough to know that it is sad how many ownership groups will allow their vision to be shaped by the circumstances. It happens all the time, where organizations, where founders, where top executives will start to compromise the vision because of circumstances. It's sad, but it is a absolute, very real, very common reality. Not here, folks, not here. This executive team is so purposeful in every step that they make, in their decision-making process, in the way they are moving forward, in their thought process, in their daily methodologies. The vision is steadfast. And I love that, because we are not here to sell software. We are not here to have a great comp plan so that the world will look and see our great comp plan. We're here to help people have a chance at building a legacy for their own families. And that vision is steadfast.
So with that, it's interesting. The one particular gentleman who was added to our corporate team that I'm going to let Ryan explain his track record on, we're very, very blessed and very, very fortunate. And the idea that we now get to say to people, what are you doing to take control of your finances? What are you doing actively to take control over your finances, and not be a pawn in the game of the world that is at large? You hear it said in almost a cliche tone of, you get to decide your own economy. You do. It's not some genie in the bottle dream to be able to say, I decide my economy. Ryan and I became entrepreneurs because we wanted to determine our own economy. And now we have a vehicle that not only teaches financial literacy and being in control of your own destiny, but we have the tools and the team to help people ease their way into it and then catapult themselves for generations.
So this is going to get, again, I said the vision is steadfast, and I use that to just reinforce for everybody how purposefully the executive team operates. We're going to be purposeful tonight. So I hope all of you are prepared to take notes, because we're going to make this actionable for you. That's why we're here. The recap is great. However, we want to give you guys some actionable content, if you will, that you can operate from tonight. So let's talk a little bit about the significance of Chris Simoni and the man you're looking at on the screen, and not so much his track record, but why his track record is unique and what you can glean from his track record and the fact that he's here. What can you glean from that right now, starting tonight, that you can put into practice? All right, so we're going to talk about that. Chris has been one of the key contributors to the architecting of $2 billion brands, 2 separate $1 billion brands.
With a B.
Yeah, in the direct sales space, which again is incredibly rare, right? Skip, right, Al, right, Hernan? You guys have some iconic network marketers here with us tonight that are part of this community. That's rare. That is extremely rare. It's rare for a company to even become a $1 billion brand. Success leaves clues. So I don't think it was a coincidence that the first brand that Chris was a key contributor in. You guys, please do me a huge favor. Make sure you're muted. Thank you. So that was Herbalife. And you guys can kind of see it on your screen, right? It says right there, Chris worked with the late Mark Hughes very closely at Herbalife, and Herbalife was nowhere close to a $1 billion brand at that point. And Chris was one of the instrumental components that enabled Herbalife to become a billion. Hey, Randy, do me a favor, bud. Can you please not continue to unmute yourself? I keep muting you, and you keep unmuting yourself. That would be awesome. Thank you, sir. So here we go again. All right, Randy.
There we go.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not this guy, I promise. Whoever, hopefully a lot of people will vouch for this, but for the benefit of the community, I'm going to have to remove you if that happens again so we can get through this, because I am horribly distracted and I don't want that to happen for everybody else too. So sorry, I hate to be the guy that is that guy, but for everyone else's deserving benefit to make sure we can get through what we're talking about tonight. But thank you. You got that done. Awesome. So after working with Mark Hughes at Herbalife, Chris went on to become one of the basic co-founding team of Beachbody. All right. So both of those brands are, they became $1 billion brands. And here's the key takeaway. It was really cool, right? So on Friday, we all went to lunch, and with a little bit of intention and a little bit of good favor from the Lord, Jolene, Al, myself, Josh Fair, and Chris were at the same lunch table, so that was cool. And Chris is only here because of the relationship that him and Joshua Fair have maintained for a decade and a half, couple of decades. But that was really, again, purposeful for us to get to know Chris, to start to really get to know him. And then, thank you, Al Franklin. On Saturday, Al went out of his way to track Chris down and said, man, we'd love to have lunch with you again, if that would be okay with you. And Chris said, yeah, absolutely, we'd love to. So we really, again, purposeful. That should be in your notes at some point, right? And hopefully you're picking up on a theme here. We were purposeful about wanting to get to spend as much quality time with Chris as we could, so we could understand how to share with you guys the specific tangible ways that he's going to enhance the capabilities of Avoria Prime and enhance your opportunity. So watch. Here's the common theme with Chris's unique expertise that defines the branding methodology that was a huge part of both Herbalife and Beachbody becoming $1 billion brands. And this is directly relevant for each of you. This relates to how you start sharing this. His branding philosophy is such that the marketplace as a whole, the world at large, the globe of prospective customers will have a brand message that does not automatically point to network marketing. This guy is a master at delivering the value proposition represented by products and services in a meaningful way to the potential customer base, that they're not having to wrestle with whether or not something is a network marketing company. He is incredibly skilled, gifted, and accomplished. at shaping the brand messaging so that it resonates with a customer on the face value of the product and service offering without contemplating whether or not it is or isn't a network marketing business. And that's important. We're all on here because we love network marketing. There's a whole lot of people out there whose lives could be enhanced if they didn't get so hung up on the fact that a company that can deliver phenomenal products and services happens to be a network marketing company. Sadly for those people, they let the idea that if a company is a network marketing company, that there must be some inherent flaw in the products.
Most people don't even know what it is.
Yeah, that there must be some inherent flaw with the products or services, which is the farthest thing from the truth. My experience has taught me that by and large, higher quality products tend to result from network marketing direct sales companies because they can invest that money in R&D instead of trying to move a product off the shelves.
Well, and a product has to be so good that people just are raving fans.
Right, absolutely. So that's what's really special, you guys, about Chris is his ability to architect and shape a brand message in a way that should hopefully relieve from you guys the obligation 9 times out of 10 to have to navigate the minefield of is it network marketing, is it not? That's what he is brilliant at. And so what does that start to look like? What were some of the things that we talked about at lunch with Chris, and how can you start to harness this right now? Jolene already started giving you guys a hint. So as Chris is starting to digest and process who Avoria Prime is, what we're all about, what is the landscape globally within Forex, et cetera, how do we communicate in a way that can talk more about the whole that people want drilled in their life rather than the specifications of the drill? Okay, how can we communicate a brand message that stays away from regulatory issues and disciplinary items like pitching results, right? Everybody please write that down right now in your notes. I want you all to write down in the first person, I will not pitch results. Not only will you get yourself probably kicked out of Avoria Prime because you expose the company to a massive risk, potential disciplinary action from a risk management compliance standpoint. It's just not the right way to market. And this is what Chris is awesome at. I'm going to help you guys kind of, again, connect these dots. This won't be long tonight, I promise. We're done in like another 5 minutes, and we'll do the Q&A part. But here's some of the things that Chris started sharing with Al and Jolene and I. He said, here's what I see. And again, Jolene hinted at this. I see messaging like, are you ready to finally have a chance to truly take control of your financial future? Do you wish there was a platform with technology and education that could equip you to not always be in the back seat with your own finances? Are you guys starting to get this? Are you hearing this?
Would you like to be the hero of your children's financial future?
So Chris sees things in a way that is much more about the end result that people are desiring, that folks, let's just embrace this. For most people, we had a desire for financial peace of mind and financial stability before we ever heard the word Forex, yes or yes? Of course we did. We have an innate and inherent desire to win for our families with or without AI, yes or yes, right? So where this starts to shape the messaging at a global level for Avoria Prime is how you can all start shaping your messaging right now. What do people want to know from you in their first exposure to Avoria Prime? I can promise you, they're not going to care a whole lot about Forex and artificial intelligence until you can first help them understand how your ability to connect them to a community of people that can help them start to achieve the desires of their heart can be done through Avoria Prime, right? And so again, before there is a thing called Forex, before there is a thing called AI, there is a thing called financial peace of mind, financial stability. You can.
So we did this little exercise, and I want you guys to do it with us. I want you to think of the brand Nike. Now, please get it out of your head, whatever negative connotations you might have about the word Nike as of late. The reality is the word Nike when you hear that, when you put on that brand, you feel pride, you feel excitement about the exercise or the activity that you're about to do. Not because you know that it's the best on the market, not because it's the best running shoe out there. When you put that shoe on, you are in the same hall as what we perceive as the athletic gods. And we become the hero of our own athletic god story. Like, we're gonna go crush those miles. And we are going to create the environment where when you say, I'm an Ivorian, it's going to be, I am the god of my own financial future because I have taken the time to empower myself to get where I need to go to learn this skill set. I am proud. I have a superhero cape that has a big AP on the back of it because I'm taking ownership and responsibility. That's the vision. So what have you guys done with our education platform? Really understanding what we have to offer people when we're communicating with people to help them understand that they have hope again.
So this is where the separation of marketing and sales is also really, really key, right? So we're not so much intending to belabor the point. Guys, I get it, track record matters. There is a time and place where we of course stand on the leverage we get from the very fact that our software works, our education works, the AI technology we have is masterful. I'm not saying for a moment, I'm not suggesting that that's not relevant or that it doesn't play a monumental role in walking people through the process to where they can be equipped to make a decision on whether or not becoming a customer of Avoria Prime can facilitate their progress and where they're trying to go in life in the first place. But what I am saying is that much of the sometimes spirited debate as we had constructive group dialogue over the weekend was around the idea of what's the role that the results play? What role do how do we appropriately utilize the MyFX books? How do we, in a compliant way, but yet an aggressive marketing way, get benefit out of the fact that we really do have software that works and we do have the goods and we should have the opportunity to proudly share. I mean, if you can't share truthful, authentic, transparent, factual results, then there's something wrong with the world. Of course, that's relevant for people. But here's the difference. That's not how you get people to the conversation. It's what you include in the midst of the conversation. The way you get them to the conversation is with statements that have more to do with like what we always focus on in the first part of the Avoria Prime website, where it talks about legacy, quality of life, life by design, right? And so what do I want to really like implore of you guys tonight? It's worth your time to practice your vernacular. It's worth your time to spend some time meditating on how does that resonate with you authentically so that when you communicate it to other people, it's authentic. It's worth your time to find a role play partner. It's worth your time to find a study buddy and to really get this to a place where it can roll off your tongue like it does for someone like an Al Franklin. Very easy for him to communicate to other people the value proposition that they might find in Avoria Prime without Al trying to talk numbers in the first sentence. Hey, how'd you like to see a 27% blah, 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 right? Like that's, I mean, you're not going to, that's not a great way to.
You sound like a used car salesman, and nobody wants to hang out with a used car salesman.
Yeah, and it sets inappropriate expectations because what about that off week?
Sorry, car salesman.
What if their first week in Avoria Prime was an off week in the market? Did that completely disqualify our value proposition? Of course it didn't. There's going to be great weeks in the market. There's going to be so-so weeks in the market. And yep, there's going to be not so good weeks in the market. That by no means should devalue what Avoria Prime and the tools and the education can actually do for people over the long term. But if we set inappropriate expectations by making it all about the results, here was the best part. And I'm going to see if Al has anything else he wants to add, and then we'll go to Q&A. Here was my favorite takeaway from the weekend. You know what the vision is as we walk out of here with the executive team, with Chris, and with the leaders? It's that from the standpoint of brand messaging, guess who the star of the show should be with Avoria Prime? Not the software, not the results. It's you, the person who's willing to stand up and fight for your family's victory. It's you, the individual, who is willing to take a step forward to explore what this may or may not be so that you can win for future generations of your family, build a legacy. The star of the show is you. Just like Jolene talked about, Nike shaped a brand narrative where it wasn't about the shoes. It wasn't about the star athletes. It was about how when you utilize that brand, you become just as capable as potentially the next Michael Jordan if you're still 7 years old, where you become just as capable, even if you're in your 40s and 50s, of being somebody who becomes the moniker of good health, right? Like that's what Nike did that was brilliant. That's what Avoria Prime is going to be all about moving forward from a branding standpoint. And the more effectively each of us align with what will become the global brand message of Avoria Prime, and we start doing it now, the more effectively you're going to build your business. Because what should they see when they start to look at Avoria Prime? What should somebody see? They should simply see a reinforcement of how you already began to introduce them to Avoria Prime in the first place. You know what confuses people? When you introduce them to results and then they start to walk through the brand messaging, they don't see anything about results because they can't, because of compliance constraints, not in a brand capacity. In a sales-driven, the follow-up conversations, that's where there's a place for results. But in the initial pique someone's interest conversation, you want to understand that you have the chance to be that person that speaks belief into the life of another, that has them entertaining the thought that they could be the star. That they could be the star. That's where the brand of Avoria Prime is going. It's got me really, really excited, you guys, because what a neat thing for a group of owners and the guy who's coming in to help become the brand architect and a group of leaders to go, who's going to be the star of our show? Each individual customer is going to be the star of our show because of what they can learn, how they can gain an understanding for how to use the software tools, how they can become a representation to the world of people choosing to do their life by design instead of taking a back seat and doing their life by default. And so this is exciting, you guys, where we're headed. Hopefully, you're not disappointed. You come on here tonight thinking we're going to talk, hey guys, we got a software coming that'll do 10,000% a week. No, sorry.
We have something better. We have something that will actually start to change the narrative of our entire nation and our entire globe. That's what we have that's better.
So Al, any last thoughts before we open it up for Q&A? Anything that you think we should have touched on that maybe we missed?
Well, with that, I think I'm looking at it this way, Ryan. Even though we want to keep ranking and helping our people rank, but I'm competing against myself. I'm not competing against anyone else but myself as an individual, because I want to be the hero for my family, my kids, my grandchildren, of course, and all you have your own reasons for getting involved with Avoria Prime. But the other part of it is that it doesn't come without a price. Period. I mean, we're all leaders here, and we're people. You're taking the time to be on this call for a reason. You're here to look at what we're doing and how we're doing it, and you want to build. But there's a price here, okay? And the price is not very big compared to what price you paid already to get to where you're at right now in your life, by the way. If you think about it. I mean, we're not going to do a whole segment on this, but if you really want to be the hero for you and your family, if that's truly what your goal is, then you need to pick up the phone, start making some calls, and start identifying with people on a Zoom, get your upline to help you, and start building the business. Start identifying on a calendar, Zoom calls. Boom, 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 boom. Have your upline help you. You know who they are. You know who to reach out to, and identify with some people and start sharing, okay? And once you start doing that, it'll start to multiply with or without you over time. It'll start to grow beneath you. All of a sudden, you've got 4 or 5 people coming in a week, and it becomes very accepting in your mind that that's kind of normal to start having 5 or 10, 15 people a week coming in your group continually. It starts to grow exponentially. It doesn't happen without the price, people. So you gotta compete against yourself, no one else, and see if you can just become a little bit better tomorrow than you were today by making some calls, devoting a little time out every day. I think an hour is not too much to ask for a business that can potentially, save you financially, so that's all I want to share. There's a price here.
That's awesome, Al. And I think you're bringing up a great point, right? That like everybody's busy. And I don't care how busy somebody is. I don't think there's a person on this Zoom right now that couldn't allocate an hour a day if they believed that hour really could actually deliver the life by design that they desire. So here, I want to just to piggyback on what Al said, and then you guys, if any of you have questions, comments, thoughts, whatever, I mean, I'll stay on as long as you have questions. But, if any of you are feeling like, I don't even want to say feeling like, I'm not even going to go there. If any of you are struggling to do at least that hour a day, and that struggle is consistently prevailing to where you can't even get to an hour a day, that means that you're allowing that. And if you're allowing it, it means your belief and conviction are not quite probably where they should be. And what I would tell you is, there are amazing people on this Zoom right now available to you to help you connect properly with A, your real potential, B, your actual worth with or without an Avoria Prime, and then C, how Avoria Prime can simply be that tool in your hand once you are willing to acknowledge and embrace your real potential and your actual worth, to where that hour a day will come easy because you're going to give yourself permission to succeed. You're going to give yourself permission. And you guys, you have a community of people, and at the risk of leaving people out, I shouldn't. Let me just tell you that, people like a Skip Karekis, like a Luis Rivera, they do this at the highest level. You've got people who have built huge organizations over years and years and years. You've got Hernan's, you've got Al Franklin's, Alan Delaney's, Gord's. I mean, I could probably go through much of who I'm seeing on the screen. In other words, don't stay silent. No one's here to judge you. We want to encourage you. We want to equip you, empower you, propel you. Don't stay silent. If you're struggling to even put in an hour a day, let us help you connect with the fact that your dreams really can manifest if you will get to that place where you're doing the hour a day. And the only thing that's holding you back from that is your lack of belief. Folks, we've got the goods. The software that we've got is okay. The software that we got coming is phenomenal. And I don't mean that to downplay the current software. I'm just saying the bar's been raised. The new software is coming are upping the game big time. We've got the goods. The software is going to do its part. That doesn't help anybody if we don't get them connected to the software. Like Al said, we've got to pick up the phone. The software is not going to disappoint you. I promise you that. The software that we have coming is not going to disappoint you. I promise you that. I promise you that. Most of the time we spent this weekend was digesting the brilliance behind each of the new software products. We're just not talking about it tonight because it's not going to change anything if you guys don't go act on it. That's why we spent our time tonight talking about how you act on what you're about to have your hands on. I promise you the software is not going to let you down. The software will deliver. But that's not going to do you or anyone else any good if we don't start talking to people, right? So that being said, you guys unmute yourself. If you have some feedback of any kind, whether it be a question or any other kind of feedback, this is a family, and we're here to encourage each other. And I encourage whatever feedback you guys have.
So I wanted to make a comment. I know that sometimes making those calls and talking to those people can be lack of confidence, and I've had that. But what I've been finding is with the people we have in our community, like you and Al and Simon and the people that I've been able to connect to, I'm working on my confidence, but because I have the lack of confidence, I actually have been recently taking the steps that you guys have said, and I've been utilizing my upline. I've been using your confidence to help me. So I utilize you guys to connect you with the people that I have you know, my friend came in and then his friends coming in, and I've utilized your confidence, which has in turn given me some of my own. So by taking the steps and utilizing what you guys are telling us, and I'm in a sense stealing your confidence to help mine, it has really helped me, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate this community and the fact that I can reach out to you guys while I'm still working to build myself.
You guys, that right there was literally a war chest of wisdom and a Warren Buffett scale inheritance of knowledge that Rebecca just shared. I'm serious. If you wanted to distill what one of the most fundamental mechanisms of network marketing is that allows it to be life-changing, it's what Rebecca just shared with you. It gives you the ability to borrow the confidence of someone who's aligned with you, has a vested interest in you, who you're teamed up with, to allow your confidence to grow to the place where it needs to be, where you no longer need to borrow it. But there are, again, numerous people on here, and that's exactly why we're here. Rebecca, that was so brilliantly stated, and you have no idea how proud of you Jolene and I are. It's been amazing to watch you start to blossom as we've been on this journey together now for lots of years.
And finally receive the fruits of all of the work that you've put in. And the philosophy that we talked about earlier today, that you talked to Ryan about how you're working with the blessing that God's giving you right now while you are striving to achieve more. You know, that's a testament to the leadership of how Al Franklin has taught you how to work depth and really care about people rather than just being on to the next. So way to go.
Thank you guys so much.
We're proud of you, Rebecca.
Any other questions?
Well, of course, I can't remain silent because I haven't unmuted.
We love that, Skip. We love that.
So anyway, being on this end of what you, Jolene, Al, were able to participate on the weekend, and having been part of those, and also the little bit of the grind of not being there this weekend, that little fire, has caused me to have an analysis. I just want to reflect from the outside of not having been there this weekend, something that perhaps we should consider. Al said something in his little monologue, which was so poignant. For those of us who have been seasoned in this industry, we don't take the statement lightly that this is the last company that we're going to hang our hat on. Now, why is that significant? When Al comes back and makes that statement, I take that to the bank because we know what that means. So what I get from that, and I think this is what the field and the 38 folks that are on here can maybe look at perspective here. What that says to me, Al, thank you for sharing that, and Ryan, Jolene, you guys being there and part of that. What that's telling us is what really happened was behind the scenes in what is significant to the foundation of a legacy company. There are many companies that don't have what you just went through this weekend that is there for the short term. When Al says, I can hang my hat here, we can talk about our children, our grandchildren's financial future. What just happened there in that weekend is leadership understood the cornerstone and foundation is legacy stuff that has nothing to do with product. And I'll finish with this. I don't care how many products Avori Prime comes out with, products won't make your legacy. It's perspective, not the product. You can have people like Al Franklin with one horrible product, which we don't have, and he'll build a legacy, and other people will not. And other people are doing, what is it? Is it a function of the product? We like to defer to product because we want to say, if we have a better product, we'll have better success. Let me share this with everybody. You can have the best products in the world that give people 1,000% ROI. And if you don't have a perspective, doesn't matter what the products do. So what the foundation is of this weekend, of this legacy weekend, is equipping the field with proper perspective. And that's what Chris brings to the table. I'm good friends with one of Chris's main touch points from Team Beachbody. I grew up with this guy. He had good I know that culture very, very well. But what we have found here is, I just want to share this point. Products won't make your legacy company. Perspective will.
Amen.
Change your perspective, attune to those that are leading. As Rebecca was saying, borrow from the credibility of the leadership. That's why they're there. And don't look for the next shiny thing. The next shiny thing is in the mirror. It's your perspective, not the product. So thanks for sharing that weekend. So I realized it was much deeper than just a product launch weekend. It was a perspective shift for legacy building. And that's why I'm here for the long haul. Thanks, you guys.
Amen. Well put, Skip. Thank you for that perspective. Very well put.
Anyone else?
I want to ask Hernan, Hernan, I'm going to put you on the spot, but you know, you and I talked earlier today, and I love what you shared with me on our phone call. So I don't know if you're in a position where I can put you on the spot, but I guess I'm about to find out. All right, so maybe not.
Well, so I want to add this one thing, and then I want to wrap this up because it's getting late for everyone. You know, one of the young men in the room was kind of whining, right? Because everybody has things in their lives. Everybody has lives of family, of obstacles, of one thing after another. Something's not perfect, so that, you know, when that last thing is the straw that breaks the camel's back, it just sends them into the adult temper tantrum realm, right? And I had to look at him and say, I understand what you're saying. I appreciate what you're saying. But if not this, then what? Because there is nothing else better out there. And what it really boils down to is you deciding that whether or not the person who is with you now is the same person that is with you 10 years from now, is the same or not. You know where you're going, you know where you're heading. And if they choose to follow you, that is what makes you the leader, not your rank, your paycheck, your status, none of that. It's you deciding you know where you are going, and you saying to your friends, family, and acquaintance, I know where I'm going. I know what I have my hands on. There is nothing else better than this. So come with me or don't, but I am going. Suck it up, Buttercup. Life is hard for everyone, but what you decide to do today will determine your outcome later on. So I'm going to say to everybody who's dealing with the trauma, and trust me, I am, with the mental trauma of COVID, okay? I am. I have to push past it every single day, not to be angry about it. But I have to know and focus on where I'm going, because good, bad, or indifferent, the world out there is happening, but I have to decide that I'm going where I'm going. And I hope all of you come with us.
Ooh, that mic drop right there. Hernan, can you unmute or no?
Yeah, it might be a little noisy because I'm in the car.
That's all right. You sound great. Just, you know, I'd love for you to just maybe reiterate. You know, you kind of shared with me how you're feeling.
I love what Rebecca said, because this is what I drill into my team over and over and over again. Lean on me. Let me tell the story. You don't want to tell the story. You want me to tell the story. So I want to be on the Zoom all day, every day, telling the story of Arborea Prime, and I want my team to wear me out. Just have me on Zooms all freaking day long. Just wear me out, guys. Use me up. I got you involved in this thing. Now it's payback time. So, you know, don't stop using me until I've dropped and I'm on the floor and I can't get up. Come on, let's do this thing. So I'm ready to go. I just want to be telling the story over and over all day, every day. Let's rock and roll. I'm ready.
I love it, Hernan. I love the energy, man. You're like, you're charging my battery right now. The energy in your voice is resonating. And you guys look, so you just got to hear from a collection of individuals that represent something like 8,000 years of experience in the industry between them. So look, you got like, you know, an unlimited supply of wisdom and knowledge. Hey, they're all my brothers. They know I can have some fun with them out of love. Al's glaring at me right now. But for real, I mean, you guys look, a lot of track record right there, a lot of wisdom, a lot of repetitions. There literally were several decades of high level experience and success at serving other people and growing teams and building businesses in this space. And you just got that's right.
Look at the color. Look at the color of that mustache. Okay,
you earned
come
every
on.
single one of them. You earned every single
come on.
one of them.
That's many years of telling stories. Come on.
That's right. That's right. So you guys look, this is going to start to get really fun. You know, we're about to turn a big corner. The good is about to get gooder, as I keep saying, right? In fun, tongue in cheek. I know that's not a word. Not grammatically correct, I get it, but the good is about to get gooder. We're gonna start to have a lot of fun, and so embrace this. Let's go. It's go time. Let's hustle. Let's get after it. Let's rock and roll. Let's build a big old wave of anticipation. I don't have dates for you when the products are coming. I don't know when the first product's gonna be into your hands, and that's okay.
Get them on the Zooms.
That's right. That's right. So with that, everybody, we're grateful for you guys. We appreciate you. God bless each and every one of you.